Welcome to Mishna, studying Masechet Sanhedrin, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Vav, last Mishnah on this Perek. Now we're going to speak about the sources, right, from the Torah of how many judges are needed. So we said there are 23 judges needed in certain instances. How do we get to this number? So Sanhedrin Gedolah Hita Shel Shivim Ve'achad. So firstly, we're going to speak about the Sanhedrin HaGedolah, and this is of 71. How do we know we need 71 people? Uktana Shel Esim U'Shlosha. And the smaller one, 23. How are we going to get both these numbers? How do we know that the big Sanhedrin has to have 71 people? Right? So this is when Moshe is appointing the Zekanim in Parashat Pa'arotecha. He says, gather for me 70 people. Here, and Moshe is on top of them. 70 plus 1, that's a 71. That's Tanakam. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shivim. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, 70. How does Rabbi Yehuda get to 70? So Rambam explains, based on the Talmud, that he gets the 70 because the pasuk says v'nasi'u itach, right? And they should, take the burden with you, right? Judging, itach means with you. But over here, Rabbi Yehuda says not with you, but he explains it that they will fill in for you, in place of you. That's the way Rambam explains it over here. Interesting enough, I saw Bartanura says bedomin lecha. Right, which is which is similar to you, right? But the point over here is he's not included. Moshe is not included in that. The 70 is replacing him. But Tanakama says it's with you, right? Halacha is like Tanakama like Chachamim. Okay, that's how we got to 71, right? How do we know that the betin, the smaller one, is 23? Right, the pasuk when it talks about the saving the Goel Hadam. Right, so the Eidah come, the group of people who are judging him are the Shofet and V'itzidu ha'Eidah, and there's an Eidah, or the next pasuk continues and it says V'itzidu ha'Eidah. So the Doresh over here that we have an Eidah Shofetet ve'Eidah Matzelet. We have one group of people who are judging, another group, right, that are saving. Each group has 10 people, and Edah is of 10 people. We'll get to that in a minute, right? So you have 10, trying to convict him. Another 10 trying to save him. That's 20 judges. How do we even get to that? How do we know Edah is 10? Oh, he's saying 10 plus 10, but who's even said that's 10? Oh, we have a pasuk, Shneimar ad matay la'edah hara'ah, right? When by Parashat Shelach, we're saying when Hashem says, how long for this bad Eidah, the Eidah Hara'ah Azot, right? When the Meraglim came back, who is the Eidah Hara'ah, right? It was excluding Yoshua Kalev, right? Those are two good people. So out of the 12 Meraglim that went, minus Yoshua and Kalev, that's 10. So we see an Eidah is used for a group of 10 people. So we have 10 convicting, 10 trying to save. So that's a total of 20. Okay, how do we get to 23? ממשמע שנאמר לא תהיה אחרי רבים לרעות, שומע אני, שאומר, היה עמהם לטובה. Right? When the pasuk says that you can't sway after the rabim, in order to convict, right? To make him hayav. Okay, so I know that we can use, I can deduce from here, okay, we can use the rabim, right? You shall proceed with the majority when it comes to giving a good verdict. So what do we need at the end of the pasuk that says yes, you should go with the majority when it comes to giving a good verdict? I could already deduce that from the first half of the pasuk. So what do we learn from here? Right? When I'm leaning towards a good verdict, it's not the same as leaning towards a bad verdict. When I'm coming to give a good verdict, I could be ahad rabim, even with a majority of one. When it comes, if I'm going to make him hayav, I'm going to put someone to death, right? We have a big court case. Al pi shenayim. I need 2. I need to be at least 2 more. So it needs to be at least 12 to 2. Okay, that's 22. In betin shakul, we can't have an even number on a bedin, right? Because if we had 12 to 2, you could also end off 11 to 11, right? And then we can have, the Ahad Rabim for the Torah. So Mosif Alhem Od Echad, we add another one, Hare Asrim Ushlosha. Okay, that's how we got to the 23. How many people do we need in the city in order to have a Sanhedrin of this 23? So what does the Mishnah answer? Right? Tanakh says 120 people. And Rambam actually explains how we get to the 120 people. I'll get to it in a second. Rabbi Nechemia says 230 kedeh sareh asarot. Right? So each one could be on top of 10. Right? Sareh asarot. That's the smallest amount of people that a person could really lead. Right? So 23 times 10. It's 230. Halacha is not likely to be Nehemiah. How did we get to 120 people in a city? Right? Who are these 120 people? So Harambam actually based on the Talmud actually counts it. So first you have the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin has 23 people, but then you also have 3 rows of 23 people. That's another 69. 10 people who are just batel of the city, the people who don't work and they focus on Melechet Shamayim. And they're in the Bet Knesset. 2 Sofrim, right? Right, that's 2 Chachamim, 2 Hazanim, 2 Ba'aledin, right? Ba'aledinim, like lawyers. 2 witnesses, 2 Zomemim, right? Ushne 2 Zomemin, right? Edim to prove the false witnesses. 2 Gabayet Tzedakah. Plus a third to give out the tzedakah, because you collect 2 people when you're giving out tzedakah, it should be with 3. A rofeh, an uman, and a lavlar, and a melamed tinokot, right? So, a doctor, an uman, or someone who, like a nurse, someone who would bloodletter, a lavlar is a sofer, and someone who teaches the tinokot. So if you total that, comes out to 120, and al-Khaz like Tanakama, they need at least 120 people in order to have a bet din in the city.